Alright, I'm registering in this bitch. It's just the intro. Let it bleed out a little bit. Give you shattered dreams right here.
Greetings, Tenno. Welcome to another Warframe video. Welcome to my channel. My name's Darkkyre. I'm a 13-year Warframe veteran, and today we're going to be taking Sirius and Orion to level cap while discussing how powerful they are. So basically, with Sirius and Orion, they have such a unique kit that they can be built and used in every style of gameplay viably, except for stealth, which can be done in niche things if you know what you're doing and you want to go through a lot of extra steps and lose things to do this, but you kind of can. I generally don't bother because they're so fast that in any stealth scenarios, I'll just be so fast that it doesn't matter. So I've been perusing online and I see on Reddit, I see on YouTube, I see on the forums people talking about how weak Sirius and Orion are. So I decided to run this. The video I believe will go to level 9,300, just under level cap. I was having some PC issues and I didn't want to completely lose the run, the footage, and all the information, so I went ahead and backed at that point. At some point, my special effects just kind of stopped working, so I'm assuming that's tied to some performance updates that we'll have soon with DE. But for this particular build, I'm using an arcane persistence build. It's my kind of go-to and favorite on them, just because you get more use out of the light sanctuary, which would be Sirius's third ability. Now, during this gameplay, we will note that I use all types of uh, basic Warframe strategies in it. So basically, I'll use weapons, I'll use abilities only, I will cycle through things, and you can see the diversity of the frames. Because I see lots of things about issues with the event horizon, which is going to be Orion's third ability. So the event horizon, I see, oh, it's going off to the ceiling and things. Let it go to the ceiling. That's okay. It'll bounce back down to you. Just pull it to you like I just did. You can throw it down hallways. You can front flip over it and keep pulling it and pushing it. Like, it only should take you roughly half a second to look at that thing and then cast something on it. Or, if you don't want it to do that at all, just jump away, recast it away from the enemies you're fighting, and then go back to fighting. I do this strategy a whole bunch. It's actually more diverse that it moves. It's way more diverse as somebody who main Bobin for 13 years. It's way better that this thing moves, trust me. And Light Sanctuary, I see the poor damage reduction, but if you do an Arcane Persistence build, you throw an adaptation on, then you cast Jade's Light. I can tank anything in the game. I can stand there in a Jade Light for a long time. Like, generally, my pet will kill the Jade XMS before it ever has a hope to even hurt me in testing. So I see issues where people are saying things like abilities go through astral shell and things, but the thing is, with astral shell, that's not a defensive ability, so I'm not sure how we got here. Astral shell, just upon receiving damage, throws the clone out, just like Loki does, to distract enemies. So I'm not really sure what they mean by that, unless they meant the Light Sanctuary, the third from Sirius, in which case I can definitely tank Jade XMS, and I do have additional video around level 7,000 or so of me just standing there in one in another video. So I don't know how we keep getting to Orion and Sirius are weak. They're actually one of the most diverse and strongest frames in the game. Like, they didn't come out with broken things like when Dante first released and needed to be nerfed. This is a different scenario. This is one of the first times a Warframe has been released and is kind of just on the right level of power and everything. Just almost out the gate, minus some bugs and things. And people are saying Jade Stars is not applying. Jade Stars is definitely applying. I have hundreds of hours of footage on these guys already. Near the end of the video, I'll clip I am a 13-year veteran. They're already like my third or fourth most used Warframe ever. I put hundreds of hours on these guys already. At level cap, a bunch of times. I got banned at level cap because of how much damage these guys were doing and had to get unbanned. So I definitely don't know how we get to Sirius and Orion are weak, or then people are like, I only use this ability to build their constellation or XYZ. Well, you can go and pick any Warframe in the game you like and stop casting their abilities, and then you'll notice an issue because you're not using their abilities. Like, that's the name of the game. You cast the abilities. These are a super complex and super creative style Warframe. So aside from the crowd control, they're also a weapons platform. They are a nuker. In this very video, you will see me nuke and kill level 9,000 enemies with a single cast from Constellation, and I do not mean the last cast. Sometimes the first or second doesn't always kill them, but by the time you hit your third cast, you should be one-shotting anything you're fighting. Anything at all. And all this in the background as we go to level cap. Sirius and Orion are not weak by any means. In order for Sirius and Orion to be weak, I couldn't have made this video. I couldn't have gone to level cap. Okay? So coronal ejection, they talk about that as well. You will see me in this video take clips of where I one-shot enemies in the level of thousands just using that coronal projection. You'll see me grabbing life support that I don't maybe want to go up there right then. It has a lot of applications that I hadn't considered previously, and it can also grab loot that your pet can't grab, such as those little life support things. So it's actually a super handy ability too. Their entire kit is handy. You don't even have to help tank on them if you don't want. You can just gate by switching brothers anytime there's an issue. So they have pretty much endless possibilities at this point. Endless possibilities, endless builds. I've tried a whole bunch of builds. I see people saying you can't kill things unless you have 340 power strength. This build that I have on has 184 power strength. It does not even have 200% power strength. It's built only for range. I don't know how we're getting to such vastly different ideas about this Warframe that has released. This is like one of the most controversial things because generally people will agree, but on Sirius and Orion, they seem to not be agreeing. They're just like, oh, they're weak, but I'm not using their abilities. This one ability doesn't benefit me while I'm shield tanking, so it's awful. But that's part of the kit, is that you have to try and experiment. It takes hundreds, if not thousands of hours to master a single Warframe. Just one. So you have to put in a lot of hours and you have to do solos. You can't just go in parties and then you're comparing damage when you don't even know what the other people are building, or you just go in a solo, try them out for hours, be creative, and then you'll see how powerful they really are. Sirius and Orion are so powerful, in fact, that you can mindlessly play them if you want to. You can just spam one, switching back and forth until between brothers, and you can just nuke with your Celestial Clash, their fourth ability. I've done this. Like, you can strategize. You can also just be a nuke. You can play them any kind of way you want to play. Technically, if you wanted to do a stealth mission, you could just throw on a stealth pet, run through and not attack things, and let the pet while you do your spy or whatever. I just speed through it, but they can be used in any kind of scenario, situations. They're especially like perfect for solo players because it fills in a lot of gaps that solo players couldn't really have access to. And you could also build them to where one has strengths in this area, the other has strengths in another area. But what I did was I geared them both towards persistence. That way they both benefit from the heals. I can seamlessly switch between a weapons platform. I can switch between any kind of style. I can be only casting. I can throw enemies into the event horizon here, and then I could just shoot them inside if I want. I could only cast the one repeatedly and ping pong them back and forth and still keep life support just doing that. Just doing that. So you'll see I had some serious PC issues at the end here this day, but I do hit level 9300, I believe it is 9306, something like that. Just under level cap. I could have stayed another 20 minutes probably. I may or may not have lost it. I decided to go ahead and leave. But really, we're talking about set 600 levels when I'm already 9,000. I level cap all the time, so it don't matter to me if I actually hit it or not. But these are definitely some of the strongest Warframes. You can see on screen that there is nothing on my screen. Nothing is alive. All I'm doing is clashing. All I'm doing is clashing. Throw the orb, building stacks. Caught one inside. I'm just gonna let him float off. I am gonna one tap and a Jade Eximus overguarded with the coronal ejection, and then I'm gonna go back to clashing. That's how powerful Sirius and Orion are. And I only have 184 power strength. At the end of this video here, after I look at the loot screen, because I was also doing some experimentation, I let my boosters run out to see how much loot I would get on a level cap run without boosters. I was just curious. I hadn't done it in a long time. But I did not like the results, we'll say that. But basically, you can see I was killing them back here too, just by floating up here sometimes and hitting right here. I would hit right there and it would kill them down that hallway. So they're definitely some of the strongest Warframes. At the end of this, what I'll do is I'll clip in the build I used. I will clip in uh, those types of things. I'll kind of explain what I was doing with the build in mind, and then we'll kind of go from there. Alright, Tino, it's time to talk about that build we used for the level cap run. We're gonna go ahead and have a look. Sirius first. Let's see here. We'll look shards first. As soon as Ortis moves. So we have Tau shards, except the purple. Not really worried about that. 37.5 casting speed, 225 armors totaling 500, 115% duration just to offset that slightly. Don't really need duration on them or how I've done this build. So basically, here's the build. Pretty basic stuff for an arcane persistence. 184 power strength as I predicted. With Molt augmented, it's about 244 if my math is correct. So, arcane persistence, if you haven't seen it before, makes it if your armor's above 700, can't be hit more than 500 damage. Here's my more than 700 armor with additional health. We've got heat procs added to the damage. As you can see, pretty basic stats. Nothing insane. Same with Orion. The build is slightly different. I decided to go around the same, but we have a nearest hatred here because I wanted him to go ahead and break that 1K for me. For the build in the video, I did not have this set up. What I was using would have been oh no. You know that's right. In the video, I was using my Warframe. So, and these are not cheap beginner builds by any means. These are very powerful in-game builds. So, I did go in there, load it up, but I did not have 340 power strength or whatever number people are throwing out these days. You do not need that. That's fairy tale land stuff. Sorry, it's just there's no meta in Warframe. If you can make it work, it works. So all the other stuff is just it's how one person made something work. It's not how it works. That's not how that works in Warframe. Anyway, Warprime. We have 8 Forma with a simple ribbon, unrolled even. Got the Warprime. Basic build for a Warprime. Then we have the dual tox, of course. Strongest secondary in the game next to the Latum. Again, 10 rolls. Not a bad ribbon. Would probably be better. Okina Prime. Again, ribbon. Melee duplicate. Just because I like it. The hybrid build split between crit and status. Additional combo count chance when there's multiple enemies allows me to incarnate with 1 strike. For the pet, I took my Hound Stormy, who has this build, and I've also basic like in-game builds. Like if you guys are building it in-game, you'll know. Also ribbon. But as you can see in the video, they're super powerful, clearly easily level cap, minimal effort. This isn't even with my well, augmented or anything, but you can definitely do it. I was just running Zitteric. I didn't even really use it. You can see in the video I'm not really using Operator unless I need to. But yeah, Sirius and Orion are definitely not weak. And Sirius and Orion definitely get use out of every single ability in their kit. So if you're having issues with Sirius and Orion, I would definitely address my build, and B, I would spend hours, countless hours on them, because I accidentally merged my Xbox account, and instead of my main 13-year PC account, it reset my days and did a bunch of stuff, so I'm only at 38 hours on this account, seemingly. It also messed up my usage a bit, but that's okay. And I lost some items, but we're not worried about that. So Sirius and Orion are already right behind Vobin, which is actually my most main used, even though it says Protea. It's never been Protea. It was just when this account was merged, she was the main one I was using to progress through the star chart. But Sirius and Orion, even at the 2,000 hours, whatever, are already right behind Vobin. So that's insane. So 4% of 2,000, so a decent chunk of time on them already. A decent chunk of time. But I don't know what we gotta do, but I notice in a lot of sections, nobody's on the same page. But we need to at least get on the same page enough that DE can put together actual feedback about what's good and like what's bad. And I think and this is no offense to anyone, but if you're a newer player, if you play on the easier difficulties, on the easier missions, then you got other things to think about before thinking about posting the entire capabilities of a Warframe. No offense to anybody. And people get mad sometimes when you say it's a skill issue. But we gotta be honest with each other, with one another. Sometimes it is a skill issue. And that's something we all gotta work on. I still can improve on Warframe every day myself too. But that's the level cap. That's their capabilities. That's the build. That's what it is. And with that, my light goes with you, Tino.
A lot of people don't like me.
They don't.
All of it for no reason.
At all.
Don't you ever try to fight me. It's always killing season. While you be mad, I be breathing.